Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to be doing is we're continuing on with the study lamp exercise, and we're going to be completing the second portion or the second part of the video here, where we're going to create this the arm of the lamp here, the study arm, okay, or sorry, the study lamp arm portion here. We're going to create all of this arm, and we're going to create this little pattern on the outside as well, and then in the next video we're going to get onto the bulge and then this portion up here. Okay, so just starting off with that there. What we have to do first of all is we have to actually create, it's telling us here in the study lamp arm, select the top plane to draw a sketch, open the base part also. So we're actually going to reopen this part here, and we're going to copy the sketch from here, and we're going to draw that sketch on the top plane in a new part. Okay, so rather than actually reproducing this sketch up here that we previously did, we're going to draw that in a new part on the top plane. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to do. So first of all, we're actually going to go File, New, open a part, and click OK. Then in there, we're going to go up here and we're going to File and Open. And wherever you have previously saved the first piece, which was the study lamp base, click on that and click Open. Now, something I didn't do in the previous video that I have done since, in my recess for the arm, essentially what that means is the section here where we cut through this little slot section here. In that section there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this recess for arm and click on Arm Profile Sketch. Okay, I've renamed that. If yours says sketch number 7, that's absolutely fine. I've just renamed this. I'm going to click on this and click Edit Sketch. Now that I've clicked into Edit My Sketch, I'm going to draw a box around that sketch to grab everything inside it. I'm going to hold down Control on the keyboard and press the letter C to copy. Now that I've done that, I'm going to exit that sketch. I'm going to close down the part, click Don't Save. Back in here, in my top plane, click on Top Plane and Sketch, and now hold down Control and the letter V. And you can see the sketch has come in. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that this center point from the straight arm or the center point slot that I did previously, I want to make sure that this is on the origin. So click on this point, then hold down Control and click on the origin, and then click on Coincidence. Okay, it's after moving into position I want it. You can see it's still underdefined, so sometimes it means you might have to dimension another part of it. So just looking here, I might have to dimension from maybe the origin to here, 5, there we go. Click on the green arrow to accept. And the sketch is now fully defined. Something as simple as that will fully define your sketch. Now that we've done that, we're going to exit our sketch. We're going to rename this sketch here as Arm Profile. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to move on to the next portion. So just referring out here. So it says here, when we've done all that, we've done this, on the front plane, draw the sketch to the following dimensions. So you can see here on the front plane, we need to do a sketch that's 300 millimeters in height. We need an arc radius 200, and the angle of the arc ends at an angle of 50 degrees. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the sweep boss base command to make this 3D structure. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. So, front plane to sketch, front plane, sketch. Starting on the origin, I'm going to use a line tool, so just a normal line. Click on the line or the origin here, draw a line up, doesn't matter what height it is, just make sure it's vertical. Press escape to deactivate your tool. Sketch command, smart dimension. I want that line to be 300 millimeters tall. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go over here and grab the center point arc. Okay, center point arc, so just make sure you've selected the correct one. Sorry, press escape there, click into it again, center point arc, and I want to make sure it's in line with the top of that line. Click, drag out, when it's on the point, click again, and do an arc roughly to somewhere like there. I'm going to grab my line tool, this time a center line, from the center point of the arc out to here. I'm also going to do another line from the center point of the arc to here, only to get a dimension. Going to my smart dimension, going to smart dimension the arc radius of 200, and then I want the angle between this line and this line. If I drag it out here, not the internal angle, I'm going to get the outside angle. You could do the internal one, you just measure it 130, but if you just come out here, click on this one, 50. We're fully defined. I'm going to exit that sketch, and I'm going to call sketch 2 arm direction. Okay, so we've done that now. you can see we've got the little profile down here and we want the path for it to follow here. So we've done this before. If I go into my features, swept boss base, I'm going to select the profile in here. I'm going to select the arm direction in here. And there we have it. You can see it's been created. Click on the green arrow to accept. Okay, so there we have it. Now the next thing we want to do, I'm just going to highlight. I'm going to turn on my sketch there for that. Okay, looking at the front plane. And the next thing it wants us to do, if I just refer out here, you can see, okay, sorry, just to know how it turned on that sketch, if you go back into your sweep, you can click on arm direction and click on show. In this case, not hide for me, but show. Now, next thing I'm going to do is rename this. I'm just going to call it arm study lamp arm. Study lamp arm sweep. Just so I know exactly what kind of tool I use there as well. Okay, now the next thing we want to do, just referring back out here, just zoom in a little bit. On the front plane, draw a center line from the center point of the arc as shown, and then we want that angle of that line to be 5 degrees in relation to the line that was going horizontal. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, draw a new plane parallel to the top plane at the center point. Create a plane that is inclined to this plane and also goes through the center line. Rename this plane to 5 degrees to horizontal. Okay, so essentially, I'll just show you here what we're going to do. We're going to first of all draw on the front plane, sketch. We're in a sketch now on the front plane. In my sketch tools, I'm going to select the center line. And starting at this point, that's why I wanted it active so I could find it. Click on the point. I'm going to do a line like this all the way and make sure it touches the outside arc. Don't go too far, don't go inside, make sure it touches the outside arc. Press escape to deactivate your tool. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go smart dimension. I want the dimension between this line and this line, I want that to be 5 degrees. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to exit your sketch, click on the blue icon. And what we're going to do now is we're going to set up a plane that is parallel to that line, okay, but also inclined at 5 degrees to the ground. So to do that, you're going to go features. You're going to go reference geometry and plane. My first reference, I'm actually going to select my top plane. Sorry, not the top plane, apologies. The front plane is the one that should go in there. And my second reference, which is down here, I'm going to actually select that line. So in there, that line, and there we go. And you can see a plane is after coming in there that is at 5 degrees to this line here. So remember, the front plane is your first reference. You might assume it's the top plane, but it's actually your front plane. Click the green arrow to accept. Now with that plane, I'm going to rename it. Okay, so I'm going to hide all these guys. I'm going to click on the plane, I'm going to rename it, and they want us to rename it 5 degrees to HP, to horizontal plane. Okay, and I'm actually going to click on it as well. Click on it here, just pull it out here a little bit, pull it out. The handle there, should be able to grab it. There we go. Grab the handle at the opposite side. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm just making it a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter, you don't have to. Now the next tool we're going to do is, we want to use this plane as a sketch tool to get the sketch of the actual object as it cuts through the plane. We essentially want to get the profile of the object as it cuts through the plane. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is, we've done this previously in the previous video. We're going to first of all sketch on the plane. So select the plane to sketch on and select sketch. So we're sketching on the 5 degrees to HP. We're going to go up here to our tools. We're going to go down to our sketch tools and we're going to go to intersection curve. Now very important here, we only want a certain part of the curve. Just making sure I get the right, so I orientate it correctly. So what it wants us to do is, we're going to select this face. Make sure I can get the face. There we go. I'm after selecting it there finally. I want this face here. I want to select this face. You can see they're getting populated in over here. This face, hopefully that's after selecting there. And then finally this one. I do not want to select the curved face there. I do not want that one. Okay, so just the first 5 faces there. And watch what happens where the plane is cutting through those faces. We're going to be left with a sketch. So when I click the green arrow, you'll see we've been left with a sketch. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. The next thing we want to do, I'm going to click on the green arrow to accept. We're done with that. I'm now going to exit that sketch. Okay, I'm actually going to hide my 5 degrees to the horizontal. Okay, and you can see my sketches are still active there. That's okay, I don't mind that. But the next thing I want to do, if I just refer back to the sheet here, so we're after doing that there, we're after creating this little profile here, using that intersection curve method again. Now what we want to do is, on the front plane, we want to draw, we're skipping a step there, apologies. On the front plane, draw a square using the polygon command. Then it's telling us, add a pierce relation between the center point of the square and the line shown. So we want to put this polygon, or it's a square in this case, that's touching this point here. And the length then, it's a square, we want all the sides to be 2 millimeters in length, and then obviously parallel between this line and this line. Okay, then what we're going to do is, we're going to use a swept cut to remove, you can see a bit here, all the way around. We want to remove that section, to cut that slot the whole way around it. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is, front plane first of all to sketch. Front plane, sketch. On the front plane, I'm going to grab my polygon command. We're not going to use a rectangle, we're going to use the polygon. I want to set the number of sides to 4, so if that says 6 or 5 or whatever it is, make sure it says 4. And what we're going to do then is, over here, in the space, anywhere at all, I'm just going to draw any polygon, doesn't matter, it'll be 4-sided. I'm going to do it at an angle, slightly like that, doesn't matter. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is, I want this line here, the top line, to be parallel with this line. So click on this line, hold down Control, click on this line, and add a relation of parallel. Now it's gone parallel, perfect. Next thing I want to do is, I want to smart dimension it. I want the length of this side, make sure you get it when it's, look there, no that's not correct. I want the length of it when it's like this to be 2. All the sides are now 2. And the last thing I want to do is, I want to put the center point into the center point here. So this is why we've used the polygon, because the polygon will come with a circle. So I'm now going to click on this point, hold down Control and click on this point, and I want to go coincident. And you can see there, it is now fully defined. And it's kind of going through our object, but it's in line with our little previous sketch. Now that I've done that, I'm going to exit that sketch. Okay, once again, the sketch is fully defined. The next thing we're going to do is, we're going to go into our features. Instead of a swept boss base, we're actually going to do a swept cut. Once again, it's going to ask you a profile. I'm going to select the profile. Then it's going to ask me for the sketch or the path. I'm going to select this guy. And you can see there now, it's only doing half of it. If you see here, you got 3 options. You can select this one, which will go to the left. This one here is meant to be bidirectional. Okay. But this one here to the right. Okay. It doesn't matter. I'm actually going to select the left one, and then I'm going to mirror it over. So accept that with the green arrow. There's the cut. It's going through it. And to get it on the opposite side, we just go to our features command. We'll go to our mirror tool. The mirror face plane is the front plane. So come up here to select the front plane. And then the features to mirror, I'm going to select my cut sweep and accept that with the green arrow. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now at this stage, I'll actually hide my sketch tree. So hide that. And I'll also hide my arm direction. Okay. So there we have it. Now the next thing we want to do is, we want to actually continue this pattern. Rather than doing that multiple times, I want that kind of cut to go all along that face there. Okay, how do we do that? We do that by using what's known as a curve driven pattern. Just refer once again out to the object here. Oh, once again, skip too far ahead. So it says here, in the features tab, select curve driven pattern as shown. So in our features tab, we're going to select the curve driven pattern. We're then going to go, okay, and what we're going to do is, it says here direction. So the direction we wanted to follow, we're actually going to select just an arc here on the actual object. We're going to put 28 is the number that we want. We want 28 of them to occur. The gap between those each individual ones is 15. And then for it to actually follow along the curve, we have to say offset curve and tangential to curve. And that's what we're going to do. And then we'll select what we want to actually do, which is the cut sweep in the mirror. So in here, what we're going to do is, we're going to go features. We're going to go to our linear pattern section here, but click the drop down arrow. We're going to go to curve driven pattern. Now in here, the first thing I'm going to select is just this line here, that edge. That's the path I wanted to follow. My instances is 28. So if it says 2 or 3 or whatever, make sure that says 28. The gap I want it to be 15. Okay, I want to make sure that it says offset curve, and I want to make sure that it says tangent to curve. Okay, now in here I have to select the features. Where I'm going to get the features is this one here, the mirror, and you can see it's after happening there. Okay, and the cut sweep. So I'll just select the mirror. For some reason when I select the cut sweep, you can see here it's only giving me half of it. So in this case the mirror seems to be fine. Hopefully this will work when I select the green arrow to accept. It's working there now. And there we go. You can see the pattern is now completely going along the object. I'm just going to go back in there. If I wanted to edit that, I can click on it here, edit feature. Instead of selecting the mirror, if I just want to see what happens if I select the cut sweep, yeah, it's actually just doing, looking at that there, if I accept that, yeah, you can see it's just taking half of it. So to go back into that, edit feature, I don't want the cut sweep, I want the mirror. And select the green arrow to accept. Okay, now really quickly here, we're going to rename some of our sections here. What I'm going to do is rename this as arm detail, and I don't mind leaving it as cut sweep. That's absolutely fine. And curve driven pattern, that's absolutely fine there. And then mirror is absolutely fine as well. So I'm actually happy with that. So there you have it, guys. The next thing we're actually going to do is we're going to move on to the freeform tool here, where we're going to actually, you'll see here, we're going to bulge out these sections here. Okay, and that's going to be done in the next video there, where it's titled Study Lamp Video 3. That's the end of this video here, guys. So I hope you found that helpful. Quite a couple of handy tools there, especially that little kind of cut section there. You might have previously used obviously a sweep before, and then maybe not used the sweep to cut, but it's the same principle. And then obviously the curve driven pattern here was the main part of this one, and setting up the planes. Okay, so that's that video done, guys. I hope you found that helpful.